What up, world? Seth Rollins here. We are in lovely Colorado Springs, Colorado, about an hour before the live event. And we're here to talk about my Spotify workout playlist. So, I don't know what sort of background on it you guys need. Obviously, I have a certain type of music that I like to work out. If you've checked out the playlist, if not, we're going to get into it here in a little bit and talk about some specific songs and why I like to work out to what I work out to. So let's just check out some of the tracks and see what happens.
Cool. So here we have the playlist here. First track on the playlist, In Due Time.
So, Killswitch is a band that I've liked for a really long time. They were one of the first bands that got me kind of into heavy music. This record and this song, In Due Time, off of that record there, Disarm the Descent, was their first record back with their old singer, Jesse Leach. And I loved Howard Jones, but Jesse's got such positive, uplifting lyrics, and that's one of the reasons that I kind of like zeroed in on Killswitch as one of my favorite bands when I was like 14, 15 years old. So hearing his voice with, the Killswitch sound once again after, I think they've been apart for almost a decade, it was just really cool. So I picked that song, slapped it on there. It's got a huge soaring chorus, as you're familiar, and I love it. So hopefully you do too.
Cool. Next track is Sticks and Bricks, Day to Remember. That's from What Separates Me From You.
Yeah, it's Day to Remember is like, it's basically, I think their fourth record, but I call it their third because I wasn't a huge fan of the early stuff. But that's just like encapsulates a Day to Remember sound. If you're familiar with the band, they're my favorite band currently of the genre. I just think they're incredible. They keep churning out new records and they're always awesome. But that song's like, it's got everything. A huge pop chorus. It's got sick breakdowns. Some good riffage, all the good stuff you want from a Day to Remember song. So that just kind of is the whole package. Like if you want to know, what is a Day to Remember, what is popcore music, or however you want to call it, not popcorn, popcore. Day to Remember, What Separates Me From You, great record, and that's the opening track on that one too. So it hits you right in the mouth right off the get-go.
Awesome. Yeah, we got a fan here who said Sticks and Bricks is so nasty, Josh Chavez. So
it is nasty. Nasty is a good way to put it. And I like some nasty songs when I'm working out. I can't really listen to like chill music or country music or, God forbid, rap music. No offense to the fans of rap music out there, but I can't get down to that. I need some aggressiveness and heavy music and a good guitar.
Cool. So our next track we have here is Bottom Feeder by Parkway Drive.
Get louder, that'd be great. Bottom Feeders off the new record, Ire. If you were on the internet anytime over the last week, you probably saw a wonderful video of me headbanging at a Parkway Drive concert in Chicago. Good friends of mine, great dudes, great Aussie boys, constantly put out great records. Bottom Feeders, actually, their encore. It's like, the last song they do after they're done. So they come out and really whip the people into a frenzy, and they've done that their entire career with their music from start to finish. Every song, every track on every album that they've had is a ripper. So if you are into that, man, they have the best breakdowns in the biz.
Cool. Michael Matarazzo says you look like you're about to get in the pit. Any experience in the pit?
Yeah, I've been in the pit. I grew up in the pit. I mean, that's what I did when I was a kid, man. I used to go to shows all the time and lived for pushing dudes around, stuff like that. The the Parkway show was an exception. I probably hadn't been in a mosh pit in at least 10 years since I was like 20 or so. I'm always afraid of getting hurt, but they played an old track, which I think might be on this playlist. I'm not sure if it is or not. I included a lot of Parkway tracks. It's called Gimme a D. It's the opening track to their opening record, Killing with a Smile, and just got me hyped. Had to get down there, had to do my deal. So, yeah, great band, great dudes, great song. Check them out.
Cool. And one more comment. We have a fan who says, Parkway Drive and A Day to Remember, the best metalcore bands so far. Are there any better ones? Or?
I mean, those are my top two guys. Obviously, if you checked out the playlist, there's a lot of both of them on here. So we'll scroll down and see what else we got.
Cool. Here we have a song from Misery Signals, The Year Summer Ended in June.
So Misery Signals, a little more obscure. A lot of the fans of Parkway or of Day to Remember may not know Misery Signals, but I urge you to check them out. That song was off of their first record called Of Malice in the Magnum Heart, which is my favorite of theirs, with their original singer. And there's just so much passion in the lyrics and like the way he sings. Or screams, whatever you want to call it, but it's just so raw and like visceral, and I attached to it immediately. The whole record's great. That's my favorite song off the record. Their sound is not quite as clean as some of the other bands that we've went through so far. It's a little choppier, has a little bit different cadence to it, but I like that from time to time.
Awesome. Let's check out another Killswitch Engage. We got Break the Silence.
Yeah, Break the Silence is cool. I mentioned earlier, when we talked about In Due Time, about how I loved Howard. And there you go, there's a Howard Jones song on there for you from As Daylight Dies. That one's awesome. It's just about like having kind of faith in yourself and believing that you have the power and not staying silent, knowing that your voice means something. And I think that's actually pretty relevant considering it's about election time, and you got to get out there and vote and do your part and make sure that your contribution matters and know that your voice can be heard and can mean something. And Howard's got a powerful voice. He's one of the best vocalists in metal today, and that song just kind of encapsulates everything that he can do well.
Awesome. We have a question here from a viewer who wants to know if any one of the bands on this playlist could go ahead and make you a new WWE theme song. Which band would you choose?
Oh, a new one? Oh, I don't know, man. I like mine. I think I'd do all right with mine. I mean, I'm friends with all these dudes. Killswitch did one of Punk's theme songs before he used the In Living Color track. So they've done their business. I don't know. A Day to Remember would be pretty cool, or Parkway, really. Those are my two options if I had to choose.
Awesome. Let's check out a couple more. We got here from Set Your Goals, we have Mutiny.
Yeah, so that's it's on the lighter side. They're probably some of the lighter artists that I work out to. Set Your Goals, really get into the pop punk kind of genre, and the reason I really grew into Set Your Goals was because I liked what they did, the dynamic of the two vocalists. One is, they do very well. They go very well together, and their lyrics are real positive as well. I know a lot of people give metal music and punk music and hardcore bad rap because there's all this screaming and they think it's all this negativity, but there's so much positivity in the lyrics if you just take the time to listen to it. Mutiny, that entire record is just about standing up for yourself and knowing that you can make a difference in whatever that may be. Kind of like sticking it to the man a little bit, like Mutiny against the system. And that record's great. I think they're on their Mutiny like 10-year. It's a 10-year-old record now. That's crazy. It makes me feel really old. I think that record's almost 10 years old. So kudos to them. Hopefully I can get out and catch them on tour again.
Richard wants to know if you've ever been a musician. If so, have you ever been in a band?
I dabbled in plastic guitar. I'm very good at Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Other than that, I can do nothing besides some terrible karaoke. So no, I never learned how to play an instrument growing up, man. I was too busy tossing my buddies around in the backyard to do anything about that.
Awesome. One more question. Benny wants to know, do you ever go heavier and listen to deathcore?
No. My friends listen to death metal. I had a lot of friends growing up who were in death metal bands and stuff like that, but I can't do it. It's too much for me. I don't get anything out of it. I grew up listening as a kid to my dad liked 80s rock, so kind of like 80s and 70s rock, but like popular rock. So like Van Halen was like a huge influence on me, and then my mom liked Michael Jackson and like Paula Abdul and stuff. So like I have to have like a hook. Like I have to have a pop hook. I like a lot of aggression in my music, but I also like a good hook. I like a good voice, like people who can sing and stuff like that. So if you write your own music, play your own instruments, and you got a good song, then I'm all about it. But I can't do the death metal. It just doesn't hit me here.
What about like older metal, like Metallica?
Yeah, no, I love older metal. Metallica and Pantera were my first two favorite bands, so they're fine. But again, if you listen to those records, there's at least a hint of pop involved there. They at least have a little bit of melody and a lot of harmonizing with their instruments or their voices, So I have to have some of that for my music.
We got a question here from Francis. He wants to know which band's music has helped you through the toughest times of your life, whether that's going through personal stuff or tough workouts, or what band do you go to when you got a really tough struggle ahead of you?
Man, when I was a kid, you know what? This is a weird one, and they're not on the list at all. But I would say one of the bands that as far as lyrically, really helped me, and I listened to them during my teenage years, which is obviously when most of us have our angst, was Korn. And that sounds crazy because they're, you make fun of them now, but back in the day, the lyrics were just there, man. It was just what I was feeling when I was 14, 15, 16. Taking Back Sunday too had some good lyrics back in the day. When you're a kid, you're just angsty, so everything's a fight, everything's a struggle. I kind of went through that phase where I was not whining and complaining, but just like, woe is me. When you're 16, everything's woe is me. It's not until you kind of grow up a little bit and realize that you have the power to take control of your own life that some of these other bands and some of the stuff we're talking about now with the lyrics on this playlist, they seem to become more relevant. So Korn's one that you wouldn't expect.
Awesome. Let's check out just a couple more of these before we wrap. We got Romance is Dead.
Romance is Dead is actually the first song I ever heard from Parkway Drive. It's off their first record, Killing with a Smile. It might be their most popular track because there's a specific breakdown in there, a specific part that really gets people moving, and I can't repeat the lyrics here, but if you know the song, you know what I'm talking about. If you've never heard the song, go listen to Romance is Dead. You'll know what I'm saying. It's awesome. My buddy Shane Hollister, he actually played the song for me. He was into this kind of stuff before I was, and he got me hooked on it. So yeah, there it is. First Parkway song I ever listened to, and still a doozy, man. If you need to lift a lot of weight, that's the jam for you.
One of our viewers wants to know if you're the most metal WWE superstar in the locker room.
I don't know. Jericho's pretty metal. But he's the singer of a metal band, for crying out loud. And I listen to more modern metal, like what we're talking about here. These are the bands that I'm into. Chris is into like metal, like hair metal, heavy metal, death metal. He likes all the metal musics. I've grown more into the core genre. So, but I think I might be more into music than anybody. I don't know if there's any other superstars who are just generally, or I should say specifically, into music as much as I am.
Gotcha. Let's check out one more track here. Go for For Lifeline.
It's a good way to close it out. Hasted Day is a little lesser-known Christian metalcore band from Ohio. Oh, Indianapolis. Sorry, Hasted Day, guys. From Indianapolis. And they were like bigger in the mid 2000s when Christian metalcore kind of blew up for some weird reason. And I'm not religious in any way, but the energy, the raw energy, kind of like Misery Signals, is just off the charts. The album, When Everything Falls, from top to bottom, you could listen to it. That could be your workout track if you wanted to. Just 30 minutes of just blast me with awesome soaring choruses and sick breakdowns and sweet riffs, and that record right there might be standalone my favorite workout record there is. When Everything Falls by Hasted Day. I don't think they're a band anymore, but they're awesome, fantastic.
Cool. Any last words of advice for anyone who might be wanting to use this playlist to start getting into working out, getting into CrossFit, people who just want to use this as motivation to become more active?
Yeah, man. I want to thank Spotify, first of all, for doing this with us and letting us put this together. I love music, so it's cool for me to sit down and share what I like with you guys. Obviously, it's got an overwhelmingly positive response so far online. And if this is your stuff, awesome. Get into it and enjoy it. It's I think we got 30 tracks on here, so you're looking at a good 90 minutes. But for me, man, I like my workouts fast-paced. This is how I rock and roll. That's kind of how CrossFit is. So I like to keep the heart rate up. I like to keep moving. I like to be fueled with aggression. I love just hearing something, a specific song or even a part in a song at the right time that just, can change the whole day. So if you're hesitant and you don't know anything about any of these bands, I suggest you give it a shot and give it a listen, and maybe it'll motivate you in ways that you didn't know you could be motivated. So give it a shot. Again, thanks to Spotify and the WWE Music Group for putting this all together. Hope you all had a good time here on Facebook Live. Enjoy the songs, man.
Awesome. Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.